Picture this. You're standing in your kitchen, preparing dinner. You've got your cutting board out, your favorite knife in hand, and a colorful array of vegetables lined up in front of you. For decades, you've been told that vegetables are the gold standard of healthy eating. Eat more veggies has been the advice from every nutritionist, doctor, and health magazine. So you chop, you steam, you roast, confident you're making the best choice for your body. But what if I told you that some of the most common vegetables, especially when eaten regularly after the age of 65, could actually speed up the very thing you're trying to slow down, the aging process itself? I'm not talking about exotic or rare vegetables you've never heard of. I'm talking about ones you've probably eaten this week, maybe even today. The truth is, while vegetables can be powerful allies for your health, certain ones can become harmful past a certain age. Not because they're toxic in the usual sense, but because of how they interact with your changing metabolism, inflammation levels, and even your gut health as you get older. And if you're over 65, your body doesn't process certain compounds the same way it used to. When you're younger, your body is better equipped to handle a variety of plant compounds, even those that can cause mild stress to the body. Your liver detoxifies more efficiently, your gut lining regenerates faster, your antioxidant defenses are stronger. But as we age, cellular repair slows down, damage from free radicals lingers longer. Digestive efficiency drops, meaning some plant compounds aren't broken down properly. Inflammation becomes more likely. Chronic, low-grade inflammation, sometimes called inflammaging, becomes a driving force behind heart disease, arthritis, memory loss, and more. Kidney and liver capacity decreases, so certain vegetable components can build up or stress these organs. This means that a vegetable you've eaten for years without problems could now be quietly contributing to joint stiffness, digestive discomfort, skin aging, or even higher disease risk. One of the biggest myths in nutrition is that a healthy food is healthy for everyone, at every age, in every amount. That's simply not true. Take, for example, foods high in oxalates, compounds found in many leafy greens and vegetables. In moderate amounts and in young, healthy bodies, oxalates are usually harmless. But in older adults, they can contribute to kidney stones, joint pain, and even accelerate bone loss when consumed excessively. Or consider nightshade vegetables like tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. For some people, especially those with arthritis, these can trigger inflammation and joint discomfort. Now, I'm not saying these vegetables are bad in every case, but if you're over 65, and especially if you're noticing certain symptoms, like increased stiffness, bloating, or fatigue, it's worth looking closely at which vegetables you're eating and how often. If we want to understand why certain vegetables can speed up aging in seniors, we need to talk about inflammation. Inflammation is your body's natural defense mechanism. It's how your immune system responds to injury or infection. Short-term inflammation is healthy and necessary, but chronic inflammation, the kind that quietly simmers in the background for months or years, is a different story. Research shows that chronic low-grade inflammation is linked to almost every major disease of aging, including Alzheimer's disease and other dementias, cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis, certain cancers. And here's the kicker. Some vegetables, while rich in nutrients, also contain natural compounds that can trigger inflammatory responses in susceptible individuals, especially in older adults with slower detox systems or existing inflammatory conditions. Think of your body like a filter. When you're young, the filter is fresh and can handle more particles without getting clogged. But with age, the filter starts to wear down. It doesn't clear things out as quickly. Small irritants that were once harmless can now cause problems. This is why you might suddenly notice that certain vegetables don't agree with you anymore, causing bloating, indigestion, skin flare-ups, or joint aches. These reactions aren't your imagination. They're signs that your body's tolerance threshold has shifted. Robert, 70, came to see me with complaints of increasing joint pain and fatigue. He was eating what most would consider a perfect diet: salads every day, vegetable soups, roasted peppers, and spinach smoothies. When I looked closer, I saw a pattern. He was eating high oxalate vegetables daily, plus multiple servings of nightshades. For someone with a history of mild arthritis and borderline kidney issues, this was a recipe for chronic inflammation. We adjusted his diet, swapped out certain vegetables, and within 6 weeks, Robert's pain had eased, his energy improved, and he was sleeping better. He hadn't realized that the very vegetables he thought were keeping him young were actually adding years to his joints. We opened the door to a surprising truth: that some vegetables, despite their reputation, may accelerate aging when eaten frequently after 65. Now, it's time to dig into why this happens. To understand why certain vegetables may be working against you, we need to examine 3 core factors: how aging changes your body's processing of plant compounds, the role of chronic inflammation and oxidative stress in aging, specific compounds in vegetables, like oxalates, lectins, and alkaloids, and how they interact with an older body. Let's walk through these one by one. When you're young, your body is like a finely tuned machine. Your liver and kidneys filter efficiently, your digestive enzymes work at full strength, and your antioxidant systems quickly neutralize free radicals. But after 65, subtle changes in nearly every system alter how you respond to what you eat. Digestive enzymes decline. This means certain fibers, proteins, or plant compounds may not break down as completely, leading to discomfort or irritation. Gut lining becomes more sensitive. With age, the protective mucosal barrier can thin, making you more prone to inflammation from compounds you previously tolerated. Liver detox slows. Your liver still works, but not quite as efficiently at processing plant chemicals and filtering byproducts. Kidney filtration declines. Waste products and minerals, like oxalates, can accumulate more easily. Antioxidant defenses weaken. Free radicals linger longer, causing more cellular damage. The same vegetable that nourished you at 35 could now create unnecessary strain on your body at 70. Scientists have a term for the low-level, persistent inflammation that builds up with age: inflammaging. It's a quiet process, but it's incredibly powerful in driving age-related decline. Chronic inflammation damages cell membranes and DNA, impairs the way your cells produce energy, speeds up the breakdown of collagen in your skin and joints, contributes to plaque buildup in arteries, interferes with brain signaling. The trouble is, some vegetables naturally contain compounds that, while harmless to many younger people, can act as irritants in seniors, stoking this low-grade inflammation day after day. If you already have arthritis, digestive issues, or autoimmune tendencies, these compounds can fan the flames even more. Another key driver of aging is oxidative stress. Think of oxidative stress like rust on a piece of metal. Just as oxygen and moisture slowly corrode metal over time, free radicals, unstable molecules, can damage your cells. Your body naturally produces antioxidants to neutralize free radicals. But with age, you produce fewer antioxidants. You're more exposed to environmental and dietary sources of oxidative stress. Recovery from oxidative damage takes longer. Certain vegetables can either help fight oxidative stress through antioxidants or worsen it by increasing inflammation or delivering compounds that create more free radicals in the wrong context. Now let's talk about the specific plant compounds that can be problematic for older adults. These aren't toxins in the way we think of poison. They're natural defense chemicals that plants produce to protect themselves from pests. In small amounts, and for healthy people, they're often harmless. But in older adults with changing metabolism, reduced kidney or liver function, or chronic inflammation, these compounds can tip the balance in the wrong direction. 1. Oxalates, found in spinach, beets, beet greens, Swiss chard, certain beans. Purpose in plants. Bind calcium to deter pests. Problem for seniors. High oxalate intake can contribute to kidney stones, joint pain, and reduced calcium absorption. In older adults, this is especially risky because bone density is already a concern. The connection to aging. Oxalates can bind minerals your body needs for bone and muscle health, indirectly contributing to weakness and frailty. 2. Lectins. Found in beans, lentils, peas, peanuts, tomatoes, potatoes, eggplants. Purpose in plants. Act as natural pesticides against insects. Problem for seniors. In sensitive individuals, lectins can irritate the gut lining, increasing inflammation and affecting nutrient absorption. Older adults often have a thinner gut lining, making them more vulnerable. The connection to aging. Poor nutrient absorption accelerates deficiencies, which in turn speeds up tissue breakdown and cognitive decline. 3. Alkaloids, nightshades, found in tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, potatoes. Purpose in plants. Natural defense against pests. Problem for seniors. Alkaloids like solanine can increase inflammation in susceptible individuals, especially those with arthritis or joint pain. The connection to aging. Joint inflammation limits mobility, and reduced activity accelerates muscle loss and frailty. 4. Goitrogens. Found in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. Purpose in plants. Naturally occurring chemicals that can affect thyroid function in large amounts. Problem for seniors. If you already have low thyroid function, which is common after 60, excessive goitrogens can interfere with hormone production, slowing metabolism and contributing to fatigue. The connection to aging. Slowed metabolism increases fat gain, decreases energy, and worsens insulin resistance. 5. FODMAPs, found in onions, garlic, asparagus, certain legumes. Purpose in plants, sugars that can ferment in the gut. Problem for seniors. Many older adults experience reduced enzyme activity to break down these sugars, leading to bloating, gas, and gut irritation. The connection to aging. Chronic digestive distress can lead to malnutrition and trigger systemic inflammation. The occasional serving of spinach or potatoes is unlikely to harm most people. The problem comes when certain vegetables, especially those high in these compounds, are eaten daily or in large quantities. Your body's ability to tolerate these compounds isn't what it used to be. That's why seniors who eat healthy yet feel tired, achy, or inflamed often find relief simply by adjusting their vegetable choices. If you regularly experience any of these symptoms, it may be worth looking at the vegetables you're eating. Persistent joint stiffness or swelling, frequent bloating or abdominal discomfort, unexplained fatigue, kidney stone history, slow wound healing, flare-ups of autoimmune symptoms. These aren't proof of a vegetable problem on their own, but when combined with a diet heavy in certain plant compounds, they're worth paying attention to. Now that we've covered how aging changes the way your body processes plant compounds and the role inflammation and oxidative stress play in speeding up aging, it's time to get specific. Now, I'll reveal the 5 most common vegetables that can silently work against your health after 65. These aren't rare or exotic vegetables. They're everyday staples, often considered healthy in the general population. But when eaten frequently by older adults, they can contribute to inflammation, joint discomfort, nutrient loss, and even faster cellular aging. Let's count down from number 5 to number 1. As we go, pay attention to whether you eat these regularly and whether you've noticed any symptoms that could be connected. 5. Spinach, a nutrient powerhouse with a hidden catch. Spinach is famous for its iron, magnesium, and folate content, but it's also one of the highest oxalate-containing vegetables you can eat. Oxalates bind to minerals like calcium and magnesium in your gut, preventing absorption. In excess, they can also contribute to kidney stones and joint pain. After 65, kidney function naturally declines and bone density becomes more vulnerable. That means high oxalate intake can work against two of your most important health priorities: strong bones and healthy kidneys. Warning signs: spinach may be affecting you. History of kidney stones. Joint or muscle pain that flares after eating certain greens. Difficulty maintaining bone density despite a calcium-rich diet. Better alternatives. Rotate spinach with kale or bok choy, which have much lower oxalate levels but similar nutrient benefits. If you do eat spinach, cook it and pair it with calcium-rich foods. Cooking reduces oxalates significantly. 4. Potatoes. The starch surge you may not notice. Potatoes are a comfort food staple for many seniors, but they come with a high glycemic index. This means they raise blood sugar quickly, and repeated spikes like this can accelerate glycation, a process where sugar binds to proteins in your body, damaging collagen and other tissues. Glycation is one of the major biochemical processes behind visible aging, wrinkles, skin sagging, and invisible aging, stiffer arteries, weaker joints. Why potatoes can be a problem after 65. Cause rapid blood sugar surges that promote inflammation. Contain alkaloids like solanine, which can aggravate joint pain in sensitive people. Often eaten fried or in processed forms, adding even more inflammatory compounds. Better alternatives. Try sweet potatoes or cauliflower mash. Both have a gentler blood sugar impact and more antioxidants. 3. Tomatoes. A nightshade that's not always friendly. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant, but they're also part of the nightshade family, which contains alkaloids that can aggravate inflammation in susceptible individuals, especially those with arthritis or autoimmune conditions. For some older adults, tomatoes trigger increased joint stiffness or swelling, digestive discomfort, flare-ups of inflammatory conditions. It's important to remember that sensitivity varies. Some people can eat tomatoes daily without issue. Others notice dramatic improvements in pain and mobility when they cut them out for a few weeks. Better alternatives. If tomatoes bother you, try roasted red peppers, in moderation, or carrot-based sauces for pasta and soups. You can also experiment with yellow tomatoes, which some people find less inflammatory. Number 2. Beets. Colorful but concentrated in oxalates and sugar. Beets are praised for their nitrates, which can improve circulation, but they also carry a double challenge for older adults: high oxalates and relatively high natural sugar. This combination can stress kidneys, contribute to kidney stones, cause post-meal blood sugar spikes, bind to calcium and magnesium, reducing absorption. For seniors already struggling with bone density or managing blood sugar, eating beets daily in salads, juices, or smoothies may work against long-term health goals. Better alternatives. For similar color and antioxidant benefits without the oxalate overload, try red cabbage or radishes. Number 1. Eggplant, the sneaky inflammation trigger. Eggplant tops my list because it combines multiple factors that can accelerate aging in susceptible seniors. First, it's a nightshade with alkaloids that can irritate joints and promote inflammation. Second, it's high in lectins, which can be tough on the gut lining, especially if digestion has become more sensitive with age. For seniors with arthritis, digestive issues, or autoimmune conditions, regular eggplant consumption can mean stiffer joints, increased pain, more bloating or indigestion, fatigue after meals. Eggplant also tends to absorb a lot of oil during cooking, which can introduce unhealthy fats if prepared in certain ways. Better alternatives. If you want something hearty and versatile like eggplant, try zucchini or portobello mushrooms, which are easier to digest and far less likely to trigger inflammation. How to tell if a vegetable is causing problems for you. Here's a simple method I use with my patients. Remove the suspected vegetable completely for 2 to 3 weeks. Track any changes in symptoms like joint pain, digestion, energy, or skin health. Reintroduce the vegetable in a moderate amount and watch for any reaction over the next 48 hours. Many seniors are surprised to discover that one or two specific vegetables are responsible for symptoms they've been living with for years. Why moderation matters. I want to stress this. I'm not saying these 5 vegetables are poison or that no one over 65 should ever eat them again. The point is that frequency and portion size matter, especially if you already have health concerns like arthritis, kidney issues, digestive sensitivity, or unstable blood sugar. For many seniors, simply reducing these vegetables to once or twice a week and replacing them with lower oxalate, lower lectin, and lower glycemic options makes a noticeable difference in how they feel. Some vegetables, while healthy for many, can become problematic after 65 due to the way they interact with inflammation, oxidative stress, and age-related changes in digestion and metabolism. We identified 10 common vegetables that may speed up the aging process for seniors when eaten often: spinach, potatoes, tomatoes, beets, and eggplant. Now, the good news: you do not have to give up vegetables to protect your health. In fact, vegetables remain one of the most important food groups for longevity. The key is choosing the right types, preparing them correctly, and pairing them wisely so you can enjoy flavor, variety, and nourishment without the side effects. Now I will tell you safe, anti-aging swaps for each of the 5 vegetables. Cooking techniques to reduce problem compounds. Meal pairing strategies to improve digestion and nutrient absorption. A sample day of eating to guide you. 1. Spinach swap. Go for low oxalate greens. Spinach's high oxalate levels can be a concern for kidney health and calcium absorption after 65. Better choices. Kale. Rich in vitamins A, C, and K plus calcium, but with far fewer oxalates. Bok choy. Mild flavor, calcium-rich, and easy to digest. Romaine lettuce. Hydrating, crisp, and versatile for salads. Cooking tip. If you do enjoy spinach occasionally, lightly boil it for 2 to 3 minutes and discard the water. This removes a significant portion of oxalates. Pairing tip. Eat greens with a healthy fat, like olive oil, to help absorb fat-soluble vitamins. 2. Potato swap. Lower the starch impact. Potatoes can spike blood sugar and, for some, aggravate inflammation. Better choices. Sweet potatoes. Lower glycemic impact and rich in beta-carotene. Cauliflower mash. Creamy texture without the starch overload. Turnips or rutabagas. Mild flavor, fewer carbs, and more fiber. Cooking tip. If you choose potatoes occasionally, boil and cool them before eating. This creates resistant starch, which lowers the glycemic impact. Pairing tip. Always eat potatoes with protein and fat, never on their own, to slow sugar release. 3. Tomato swap. Reduce nightshade load. Tomatoes can be inflammatory for those sensitive to nightshades. Better choices. Carrot-based sauces. Sweet and savory without alkaloids. Pumpkin puree. Works in soups, stews, and even pasta sauces. Roasted red peppers, if tolerated. Rich in antioxidants but lower in alkaloids than tomatoes. Cooking tip. If you're mildly sensitive to tomatoes, try removing the skins and seeds before cooking. This can reduce alkaloid content. Pairing. Tip. Combine tomato dishes with anti-inflammatory herbs like basil, oregano, and rosemary to help counteract potential irritation. 4. Beet swap. Keep the color, lose the risk. Beets are high in oxalates and natural sugar, which can affect both kidney health and blood sugar. Better choices. Red cabbage. Similar vibrant color, high in antioxidants, and low in sugar. Radishes. Peppery crunch, digestive-friendly, and low in carbs. Purple carrots. Sweet flavor with extra antioxidants. Cooking tip. If you occasionally eat beets, pair them with calcium-rich foods like feta cheese to help bind some oxalates before they're absorbed. Pairing tip. Avoid drinking beet juice on its own. It concentrates sugars and oxalates without fiber. 5. Eggplant swap. Gentle on joints and digestion. Eggplant combines nightshades and lectins, which can be hard on joints and gut lining. Better choices. Zucchini. Mild, versatile, and lectin light. Portobello mushrooms. Meaty texture and rich umami flavor. Butternut squash. Sweet, creamy, and packed with beta-carotene. Cooking tip. If you enjoy eggplant occasionally, peel it and salt it before cooking to reduce bitterness and alkaloid content. Pairing tip. Bake or roast with olive oil and garlic for flavor without deep frying. Cooking methods that support senior health. Even the healthiest vegetables can lose their benefits or gain unwanted compounds if cooked improperly. Here's how to get the most from your produce after 65. Steam or lightly sauté instead of frying. Retains nutrients without adding inflammatory oils. Boil and drain high oxalate vegetables. Remove some of the compounds that can affect kidneys and bones. Ferment certain vegetables like cabbage into sauerkraut. Adds probiotics for gut health. Roast at moderate heat. High heat for too long can damage delicate antioxidants. Meal pairing for maximum benefit. How you combine foods can make as much difference as which vegetables you choose. Pair high vitamin vegetables with healthy fats, olive oil, avocado, nuts, to boost absorption. Eat cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, with selenium-rich foods like Brazil nuts for better thyroid support. Add herbs and spices, turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, parsley, to combat inflammation naturally. Include protein with every meal to stabilize blood sugar and preserve muscle. Sample day of age-defying meals. Breakfast. 2 scrambled eggs with sautéed kale and mushrooms in olive oil. Half an avocado. Herbal tea or coffee without added sugar. Mid-morning snack. Greek yogurt with a handful of blueberries and chopped walnuts. Lunch. Grilled chicken over mixed greens, romaine, bok choy, with olive oil vinaigrette. Small side of roasted carrots and zucchini. Afternoon snack. Celery sticks with almond butter. Dinner. Baked salmon with steamed cauliflower mash. Side of roasted red cabbage with garlic. Herbal tea. Optional dessert. A few cherries or sliced kiwi with cinnamon. Your key takeaways. Not all vegetables are harmless after 65. Certain compounds can become problematic as your body changes. Swapping problem vegetables for gentler options can reduce inflammation, protect your kidneys and bones, and stabilize blood sugar. Preparation matters. Cooking methods can make a vegetable more or less supportive for your health. Balance and variety keep your diet nutrient-rich without overloading on any one compound. The goal is not to fear vegetables, it's to choose them wisely for this stage of life. If you found this series helpful, I encourage you to look at your weekly vegetable choices and make 1 or 2 swaps starting today. Often, small, consistent changes create the biggest difference in how you feel and how gracefully you age. I'm Dr. Maria Lopez. Thank you for taking this time for your health. If this has helped you, please share it with someone you love, because aging well is always easier when we do it together.